Welcome everyone to another episode of Kiwi Talks. I'm honoured to have my guest in the studio all the way from Christchurch, my man King Cass. How you doing, bro?
Yo, what's up, brother? What's up, whānau? What's up, KIWI? Nah, good, brother, good. Good to be here, bro. Blessed as. Blessed.
Yeah, good flight?
Yeah, no, actually we got delayed, so it was 2 hours delayed for some icy fog over here in Auckland, so heading on in. It was a bit of a bumpy ride in, but pretty good otherwise. So sort of got that nervousness out of the way from the flight so I can get through this stuff, eh, brother?
Yeah. Well, that's the main thing, eh? It's about an hour flight, isn't it? Hour flight from Christchurch to Auckland Airport?
Hour and a half, I think, eh?
Yeah. It doesn't take long to fly anywhere in New Zealand,
crazy,
which is good.
I mean, like, you know, when you're taking off, you're like, whoa, you're actually going quite fast, but it doesn't feel like when you're in the air, you're going that fast.
Yeah. I think the only places I don't like to fly or land particularly is Wellington because of the wind and stuff. So
yeah, you can really feel it out when you're coming in. Yeah, like, well, hope that guy knows how to handle that cockpit.
I think they train a lot of pilots to fly there because of that reason.
So they'll be like the main guys that are on that schedule, eh?
Yeah.
Cool.
So before we get into the hip hop stuff, obviously we've got to talk about your story because it's a very touching story, and I think it can help a lot of people, particularly in New Zealand during this time. So you were diagnosed with ADHD at 7, is that right?
Age 6, brother, yes.
6,
Yep.
Okay, I was close. Okay. And how much of that do you remember from that time?
Pretty much like what it was like to go through the diagnosis.
Right.
So imagine being
what do they do?
So they pretty much, imagine being a 6-year-old boy and your parents telling you that you're going to go to this place.
Yeah.
And they're just going to check up on your behaviour and just don't play up. That's pretty much what I was told. Don't play up and don't put on the act because we're going to get you a medication review or something. So when I went in there, of course I'm going to play up. I'm a 6-year-old boy. I've been told not to play up already. So first of all, I'm going to rebel, you know. So I get in there, I start fidgeting, I start playing up, I start being hyperactive. The label, you know, then pretty much they do their paperwork and then says, yep, he's got ADHD. Next minute I was prescribed Ritalin. I went through probably 3 different medications, medication reviews, that one that I put up on Facebook that I was in an acute ward at the age of 13 through till for the 4 weeks that I was there. And like I told you, I was in a padded cell when I was naughty. We were schooled. We had restrictions to food. And like just to know that that was a medical review, bro, that was a place where they did a medication review. So, and my mum came in underneath that comment and says, you know, she wished that she'd never done that because they used to tell my parents to take me off the medication on weekends and to take me off the medication on my school holidays. And they were obviously just taking notes because they didn't know what they were up to. Well, this is just my theory. They didn't know what they were up to. They were just using us in the 90s as kind of like guinea pigs to work out what was actually happening in that system because they had no idea, bro? They were just testing out this drug and, you know, the whole pharmaceutical theory is around money, the whole root of all evil, eh?
But was there, do you remember any side effects or anything from taking any type of drugs?
Oh, absolutely, brother. So instant takeaway of appetite. Like, it's hard to talk about this stuff. Like, it's like I'm feeling these feelings now, bro. I'm feeling that sick in my stomach right now talking about all this, bro. It's taking me back. And that's because when we go back into a traumatic moment, we actually feel those things, especially when you are quite an empathic person. So for me, bro, I'm sitting there and saying that for me, it was the feelings of, there was no appetite, there was no appetite there at all, brother. So, the no appetite, not being able to sleep, and then my parents just saying that when I took that medication, it was almost like I was a silenced boy within seconds, you know, and in that documentary on 7 Sharp, they say it, you know, like at the age 2, I turned into that devil overnight, but when they gave me that medication, I was that quiet little boy in the corner.
Yeah. Have you met other people who have been through a similar thing?
Yes, and also by sharing these vulnerable posts and putting out my story, people are coming to me daily, weekly, and telling me, bro, I'm going through this, what do I do? And I'm just like, believe in you. Like, these people have created these labels, and I'm just going to say, I actually had a review lady ring me up about 2 years ago.
Yep.
And this is what she said to me. She was like, oh, hey, Hunter Wilson, we just wanted to ring up and do your adult review for ADHD, wondering if you'd want to come in and get the review done. I'm just like, no, I don't want to. It's like, literally, I said, no, I don't want to. And she says, what? And I says, no, I don't. I've actually found the cure. And she was, I told this lady on the phone I found the cure, and she was really interested to hear it. What is the cure? And I just said to her, believe in yourself, and don't believe that there's a label on you no more, and just keep being who you are, and you will believe. And the lady had nothing to say but, oh, well, all the best in life, Mr. Wilson. And that was what she said to me. A lady who was ringing up to do a medical review on something that they diagnosed me at the age 6 of, they just said nothing when I was an adult. Do you see the twistedness in this? Like, I don't know why we're talking about this topic, but we've got to get something out there. Whoever's listening, you know. I reckon there's a Pandora box sitting in the hospital where I did that, you know, where I did that acute ward. All my history, all my knowledge, all the stuff that I had tests done on and all that. But do I want to open that? No, I just want to carry on and live my life and actually acknowledge that trauma, get through it, and keep pushing through, bro, and keep pushing through, and still kelping it in the hip hop industry. You've seen it, bro. You've seen me getting diss tracks about me, people hating me, saying I'm using this and that to get a hold of charities, to try and get a hold of my music, to get ahead. Sorry, using charities to try and get ahead in my music career. Like, you've seen it, bro. You've seen it all. And
well, it's the hip hop scene is very, very negative, I find here. That's part of the reason why I kind of wanted to get out of it, because there's a bit of tall poppy syndrome, I feel, and everybody's like hitting each other and shitting on each other to try and take that top spot, you know.
Bro, there's no top spot there, cuz there's no pie. Do you know what the pie is? Humble pie. Eat it. Because there is no pie out there. We're chasing some imaginary pie. I believe the pie's become humble. Create your own movement and the people will come. Have real followers, people that comment and come and talk to you daily and actually get things through. Like today, I went and had breakfast with one of my fans. So this morning, her son, this lady has never ever liked hip hop in her life, bro. And she thought she'd give it a try when she seen King Cass, because I was in recovery. So she thought, oh, I'm going to give this a listen. Now she doesn't stop listening to King Cass music. She's given other hip hop artists the chance, and her son now listens to King Cass every day, knows my words, and he's only a 5-year-old boy. And so, bro, that's why, wouldn't there be some sort of recognition, respect for that I'm actually converting people that don't even like hip hop to come to our culture?
Yeah, but it's not all about that, isn't it? It's it's all about self-image and how I can improve myself, or how my brand can get out there.
And I mean, bro, all day I'm going to build my empire as high as it can get. I want to go around the world. I want to do a world tour. I want to do all that stuff. And why can't I? Why can't I put my foot in those places to do that sort of stuff? Or just have that belief within me, aim sky high to see where I'm going to end up. And if anyone's going to sit there and doubt me and give their opinions in, they're not going to direct my spaceship to anywhere else but to where it's meant to go, bro. You know, the spaceship and my sphere. Yeah. So it's about using that story into who I am today as well.
So how do you get to that point where you believe in yourself? Like, what was there a divine kind of revelation, or was this a gradual thing that happened with you believing in yourself to be able to get past these things?
So I started to believe in myself when I came out of that psychosis, right? Right. Because I challenged everything and I found all the layers, and I started to see all the disgusting stuff that was happening in our world, and it was all freaking me out, and I went into like a dark night of the soul sort of thing, and I had this big awakening, and we'll talk more about that in my story with the psychosis.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for me, the way that I found self-belief was, and the way I did it was literally tell myself, bro, self-talk is so important. I look in that mirror, man, and I go like this, go, you got it, this my boy. And I literally look at myself in that mirror and say, ooh, and I tell myself where I'm going, and within about a month, something happens to align with that. You can manifest your own power through yourself. Self-belief, self-talk. Tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell yourself you're wonderful, courageous, that you're here to make change. We were put on this earth to heal, to share knowledge, and to give gifts. And why can't we be here to do this? And that's what I'm just doing. I'm just choosing the tools of music. I like how you said that today too, because it gave me that. Sorry, just looking off to the left to someone, because they gave me that awakening today, that we were put on this earth to do that, to share our knowledge, to build together, to share the gifts, to heal, and that's to teach. And that's simply what I'm doing with my movement, and that's all I'm going to keep doing is teach, teach, teach. It ain't about preaching. It's not a religious thing. It's about teaching.
Interesting stuff.
Thanks, bro.
So with the, because I know you got into meth and stuff in your early 20s?
No, so I'm 33 now. So I was in meth-induced psychosis only within 3.5, 4 years ago. So pretty much straight out of meth-induced psychosis into this career, bro, into doing what I'm doing.
So how did you get to the point where you dabbled in that stuff? Because I've never done any drugs. I've had a lot of opportunities to do it, but I've not done it. But I'm always curious as to what draws someone into those sort of things, or into that substance.
A loss of self-identity.
Right.
A loss of self-belonging.
But did somebody approach you and be like, hey, do you want to try this? Or was it peer pressure or curiosity?
Yes, bro. Yeah. And I used to sit there in the circles and go, I'm never going to touch that stuff, as you've seen in that documentary. And one day that devil got me, because I tried it. And the day I tried it, I was hooked. Yeah. And I kept smoking until I was chasing spaceships, until I got arrested out at the Burnham military camp in Christchurch, taking this code out there, 3.14, which is actually a sacred code. It's actually the circumference of our world and of the pyramids all aligning. I took that code out and says, I got the code that unlocks the secret spaceship underneath here. And I was going going out to the port in Littleton. I went out to the airport and did the same thing. Went to priests and churches and told them that I could flip the church and I had all the scriptures. And bro, I challenged so much things in Psychosis. 4 months journey in Psychosis, easy, I reckon it was. And like some of the stuff that I was doing, bro, it's out of this world. Like you hear in that bar, I'm out of this world more than Mars, bro. Like, I mean, the stuff that I went through, every time it was to take my own life. But I had Logic there, bro. Logic, he's an artist too, and he's one of my inspirations. I had Logic there, not the artist. I had Logic there to go, well, if I do jump, I'm probably going to die. But there is kind of maybe, some chance that I could hit a light and restart the world and it might pick me up in a spaceship and save me. But I still had Logic to save my life, bro. And I'm talking multiple times I could have killed myself in Psychosis. Letting that drug push me and take me to a place where, bro, I don't think anyone's been. And I think I've got the blockbuster movie, bro. If anyone was to take the story and make a movie of it or a short series doco or something, bro, I mean, it's going to help people, bro. It'll help people.
So how... in regards to your circle, the people around you, they must have seen this dramatic change in you during that time.
Yeah, definitely.
Were they trying to give you, help? Were they trying to guide you? Or like when you're in that state, are you just like, nah, to everyone?
I was God. I was the Messiah.
Kanye, pretty much.
Yeah. But I had people feeding the beast, saying to me, bro, you're the man, G, you're onto something, bro. There might be a mountain of gold up in the Port Hills, bro. And I'd go up there and dig. I'd literally go up to the Port Hills, dig into the rocks, and because I was perceiving and creating, I was seeing the gold in my eyes. I was seeing gold. I've been up there and seen a mountain full of gold. And that was just because of what I was going through in Psychosis or whatever was happening through my journey then. So I ended up at a place called Cass Peak. My name was King Cass after I went to this place called Cass Peak. Now, Cass Peak is actually the soccer ball. And I went up there thinking that the soccer ball was a spaceship, and I had to unlock this place to get into the soccer ball, and I was going to fly off and go back to the pyramids and do some work at the pyramids and save the world. Bro, this is what meth did to me. It put me on a psychosis, but I wanted to help people. I wanted to save the world in this psychosis. I didn't want to do bad things, but the darkness was leading me into paths where I could have killed myself many a times, jumping in front of trains, jumping in front of trucks. It was telling me, that dark thought was always telling me to try and kill myself, bro. It was hard. And I mean, I got here and I'm here today to tell that story to you, bro. And I'm going to tell that strongly, and I'm not going to stop telling that story. And I don't care if anyone says it's fake, because how can I sit here and say all this and be made up?
Yeah. So you must see a lot of people that are going through similar struggles.
Yeah, brother, and they relate to it. They relate to the spaceship thing. They're like, bro, finally, somebody. And they listen to my music and they're like, I get healing from it every day because I'm going through that right now and I'm still learning to suffer from the trauma and how to deal with it. And my music is healing, bro. Like, I know for a fact. It's like I'm going to, have testimonies of people soon telling about what my music has done for them. And I've actually got some docos coming out and I'm going to work with some people because I believe their story needs to be heard. And, just to ignite the movement a bit more, to say, this is what we've actually done within these people, and awaken and look what they're doing now to inspire change in other people, to inspire that passion, the purpose and the potential to come out in people. That's all I'm trying to do, brother.
Because you know how mental health is a very, very big problem in New Zealand.
Yes.
Massive.
It's competition as well.
Yeah, well, it is. And it's a very complex thing to solve. And I mean, I've been through times where I've been depressed, suicidal as such, and I've managed to get out of it. Hip-hop was one of the ways that I kind of emerged out of it. Writing, songwriting. Was that the same for you?
Well, because the crazy thoughts. And it was my mum. That's just so my mum saved my life, because the story, I saved my mum twice from 2 suicide attempts.
Right.
So that's why I do the suicide awareness stuff as well, is because I saved my mum from 2 suicide attempts. And then later on in life, when I was younger, I tried to take my own life through relationship breakups and traumatic stuff. And then again through that psychosis. And, to the last point where I challenged the moon, bro, and I did a haka to the moon. I did a Māori haka to the moon. And I do this in my presentation. I've got a full presentation behind me and it's got a PowerPoint, and I do a haka on stage and I act and I rap. I'm not just a musician. I've actually got a full-on testimony, a platform, a presentation to bring to the world, and to awaken the people, to let them find that passion, purpose and potential within themselves, so that they can go and inspire other people to find that. It's just that same ripple effect I'm trying to create, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And mental health is a tall poppy syndrome thing too, because there's a lot of funding and there's a few people at the top that all want to take the funding, and there's people like myself at the grassroots levels. It's very hard to even get a piece of that, but we're out here and we're not going to stop, and we're going to do it from the bones of our ass until we get there. Have
you spoken to any local politicians in Christchurch, or any politicians who have the ability to influence I suppose, where funding is?
No, until you just mentioned it, my brother.
Yeah.
You meet the right people at the right times and they plant the right seeds, brother, and that will grow. Like, I will thank you for sharing that. Like, because I'm so busy out here, I don't get to take those things do come, but I mean, don't action them. So again, that is something that I could look into actually.
Yeah, well, because I mean, I'd imagine crossing paths with those type of people would be quite rare. I mean, I went to a national campaign event last week. I've never even been to one of these political campaign events. And I was like, I got invited along, so I decided I'd go because I'm like, I've never been to one of these things. And it was actually eye-opening in terms of how tribal politics is and how people, some of them are just completely disconnected from reality in terms of what other people go through. I think, and you probably will agree with this, but in this particular age, like with social media and everything, people get in their little bubbles, their echo chambers, and so they can't understand. They look at someone, who's going through some traumatic problem, and they don't understand why they're going through it. They can't relate. They don't even want to help them. Just like, oh no, you stay there and I'll stay here, sort of thing.
And then they even start to say things like, oh, why are you bringing those sorts of topics up? And then try and find that fault in with whatever light you're trying to put out, eh?
Yeah.
And that's always going to happen, brother. And that's what we have to do as light workers. We have to discern these sorts of people coming in and throwing their opinions and their theories back at us and being like, hold up, is there any truth in what they're saying? No, I'll just dump it and keep moving on with my thing. And as a hip-hop artist, there's that little bit of ego I've got to have, bro. I brought a little bit of ego in these bars today for us, brother. And I thought, but like, hey, talking back about that believing in yourself and that self-talk, I had to have an ego death. So I had to bring my ego right down. I pretty much had to kill that ego right off and pretty much go so humble within myself. And that taught a lot about myself. Next minute I was studying youth work. I'm now doing a youth work. I'll graduate in November for a certificate in youth development. Bro, it's developed me. It hasn't only developed like what I'm going to do, but it's developed me because I've been learning about these youth that I was that little boy, that lost little hunter. I've been healing him through doing this course. Does that make sense to you? So I've been doing
healing yourself at the same time.
Doing this youth development course, but I've been developing the little youth within me as well. That little hunter that was lost, that didn't have that self-identity. And my identity today is King Cass. It's my persona that I go to get out of all that bullshit, to get out of reality, bro, And I think it's the same as any artist out there. We have that persona to be able to go to.
Oh, totally. I agree.
And we have to balance it too.
I was very much the same. So how do you stay positive? What are the things you do to stay positive? Because I can tell you, I take breaks often from Facebook and social media because it's just so negative, so much bullshit, everyone criticizing each other. It's just, everyone posting their problems 24/7, And I think when you're constantly absorbing that, a part of you subconsciously doesn't realize that, you're feeding it. It's seeping into you.
Well, words have energy. So when you're reading something, it's going stab, stab, stab. You're reading those words and those energies are coming through you. If they're defective, negative or positive, it's how you're going to feel it, eh? If you're reading it, it's how you're going to perceive it. That person might not have even tried to put it out like that, but you've received it like that. Same in how we talk on the phone. It's never taken rightly unless it's face to face. Kanohi te kanohi, And I think that's where it's at, bro, is coming to that place of it's actually okay to talk about this stuff.
It is.
And it's okay not to be okay. And that's the first step. Once you acknowledge those sorts of things, then you can come to bigger words like nothing changes if nothing changes. So how do you make change? You just got to make some change. It's changes itself. So you just got to keep putting in that change. And to be positive, I found killing it with kindness. So if someone sends something negative, find a way to flip that. If you see something negative here, try and find a positive in it. It's so hard, bro. Like, I'm battling it all the time. I'm battling it every day. But I find the positive in it, and the positive leads to a blessing.
Yeah.
The negative leads to a curse. Does that make kind of sense?
Yeah.
If you stick with that negative and you keep feeding it, then you'll see the next 12 people come in and they'll bandwagon. You've got your light workers supporting you and the haters, we'll call them, hammering you. Bro, if you don't even feed that one hater, he just fluts off. And then the positive ones are there and you focus on all that light, and then more people will come in and just start giving light because you're focusing on it. Perception, law of attraction, manifestation, it's all being created as we are moving, as we're listening, as we're taking everything in. And one thing that I learned on that course is whakarongo. Now, whakarongo is listening, but what is really whakarongo is deep listening to what's going on around you. Like, you've learnt something from me today. I've learnt something from you today too. That's ako. We've shared that knowledge together. We're sharing the gifts. It's naturally just happening. That's what should be happening with everybody.
Yeah. So how do you get to that state, though?
It just happened.
It just happened?
Because
was it like an instantaneous
thing? I met you. We connected. We've made that song a while ago, which had probably one of my darkest verses in it ever.
Well, no one will hear that now.
No one will ever hear that, But it's about having that connection, catching up with you and coming in here, me creating a safe space because I've opened myself up vulnerably. It's given you a chance to go, well, actually, I feel this way about mental health, and you've naturally just done it. So it's creating that safe space to have these sorts of conversations with people by just having conversations with people. It's called talanoa, about sitting around in a group and talking about one thing and having your opinions about it, not even judging, just accepting their opinion.
So how do you, because mental health is an ongoing thing, right? So how do you become self-aware that you're moving? Because, sometimes you're not even aware that you're in that state, a dark place. Mm-hmm. I mean, I myself, it's taken me a while to kind of realize I'm going there. I need to get out of this.
I can feel it, bro.
Oh, you can feel it. So you are aware of it.
Stomach sinks, backs of my knees get sweaty, hands start to sweat if I feel something that's a bit anxious and things like that. Anxiety's fine. Because anxiety's, I want to move. I've got something I've got to do, but I'm anxious. What do I got to do? We're freaking out. That's all anxiety is. Depression's just a thing of, I'm feeling like I can't do this. I'm feeling trapped. Manifestation, start to get trapped. Perception creates the trap, and then you're in the trap. So break yourself out of the trap by changing the perception. I'm living in a paradise. I'm living in a great place. Yes, there's some real dark stuff happening in this world. People are being murdered. Kids are being trafficked. It's all nasty, but it's not happening to me now. And just have to just be like, this is my world, and it's not happening here. And you kind of have to take those layers off and accept the dark stuff that's happening. When you start accepting it, it doesn't come.
Are you introverted or extroverted?
What does that mean, brother?
So introverted means you keep more to yourself. You stay in your own company more. Whereas extroverted, you like meeting people. You get your energy more from people.
I think I am, but then again, I need
Or are you a bit of both?
I like to 7 out, so I'm a life path 7, and life path 7, we like to sit within our own skin and have quiet time.
Right.
So I need that, and that's just regrounding. So after this, like on the way back to Auckland before the show, I'm just going to be chilling in my own skin, thinking positive thoughts about the show, seeing myself on stage, hearing my songs, and just putting myself in a place where I'm going to be, rather than going, where am I going next, and not knowing. Just put yourself in a place that you actually know where you're going. You're directing this vehicle, and ain't nobody else in this smart car. It's like a smart car. You've got only like a few people in it, your small circle, taking you to where you've got to go. And it's okay to take other people's opinions and their advice, but you don't have to actually run with it. You can just take it, accept it, and carry on doing what you're doing.
The reason why I ask about the introvert-extrovert thing is, how did you cope with the whole lockdown?
Bro, crazy. Me and my partner had a breakout. I mean, I'm now single because of just couldn't get my mind into the right place. It was really hard. I had my daughter for the whole breakup as well. So I figured out that how I was as a father, and I really learnt some stuff about myself as a father as well. So it's been learning, and I really think that the lockdown was meant to happen because 2020 is the year of change.
Oh, well, it's definitely a year of change. Some people can adapt to it and some people can't.
You're right, brother.
I often reference Kodak. Remember how they used to be like the leading company in terms of photography?
Cameras? The Kodak moment. I'd even put it in a bar.
And they're obsolete now because they didn't adapt to the times. They refused to change. And there's people out there who find it very difficult to adapt to whatever is happening. I mean, we're very blessed at the moment. Obviously, a lot of countries are going through things a lot worse than us. So it's good that it comes back to the whole spinning a negative into a positive thing, because it sounds like you've told yourself this is a learning experience. I've learned more about myself. You've become a better father as a result of it. Mm-hmm. So that's good. Have you spoken to people within your inner circle and local people within Christchurch? With the because Christchurch, to me, I mean, you guys have been through hell of a lot there. I mean, obviously there's been the earthquakes, there was the Port Hills fire, obviously the massacre, wow. And you were there during all of it. Yeah, so what was the vibe like, and what does the vibe continue to be like there? Because I know I went there last year, and there's still rebuilding going on after the from the earthquakes and stuff.
I mean, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but from what I see is it takes something bad to happen for us to unite.
Well, that is true, though.
I know, but
if people
let's say that's a worldwide thing, okay? I will say that proudly, that, it takes something bad for us to unite. It takes for that BLM, Black Lives Matter, for all that, for people to unite, to start having a say. So it takes something big that gets put onto the news and put into media for everybody to start talking about it. Right. That's why mental health is slowly being put into the media and people will start talking about it. It's about just getting these topics into these portals that have massive push in them, the media, the news, and giving them an awakening too, like, whoa, I got to do a story about this guy who had this story, who went through this and that, and they start to feel better about themselves because they have now blessed that journey more by giving you that exposure to share that message. How many people have you just healed by spending, $1 million on one advert? How many, and that's what it's coming down to now. What are they actually investing their money into? What is the news investing into? When's it going to change?
Yeah. Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. But do you, did you ever go to see a therapist or anything at any point?
Oh, yeah, heaps, brother. Yeah, all the time. Yeah,
because I went and saw one about a month ago, first time, and it took me a long time to reach a point where I was willing to do that. Because the male ego thing, like, oh, nah, because I don't want to look soft. I don't want to look weak as regards to males. Because males have that, I need to be strong sort of thing, and the perception of it being weak. But do you have chats with other males who go through that problem?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole lot of us out there.
Yeah, there is.
And we're vulnerable as, and we share our stuff on Facebook, and that's what's creating the movement. That's the vulnerability and the humility is the stuff that's creating the movement, because people are coming and being like, oh, this is real. I can relate. I feel good here. It's safe. It's mana aki tanga, creating that safe space. That's all the King-Cass movement is, bro. It's creating a safe space for people to find their passions, potentials, and purposes. I like to use those 3 Ps, I was addicted to P, so why not take those Ps into this life? Passion, purpose, and potential, So, and that mental health thing, it's really cool that we're talking about this because, it's not like a karanga, but a karanga is a call, a weddle is a challenge. But I'm putting it out there. King-Cass movement's keen to collaborate with any movement.
Yeah.
I'm keen to come and do my presentation. I'm anti-bullying advocate. I'm the anti-suicide advocate. I'm also the anti-P ambassador, worldwide director of the music for anti-P ministry. I'm coming with these titles now. Not no ADHD little shit. That ain't my title no more, bro. I've got these new titles, New Zealand hip-hop artist as well, and it's beautiful to carry these titles,
Because you're deep in with a lot of these people who have that influence. Because you know how we have a massive suicide problem within the youth.
Yes.
Bullying is another thing. And I sit back sometimes and I'm like, why? What causes this? We have a massive alcohol problem as well, compared to a lot of countries. I mean, you're more on the ground. You see more of it than I do. What do you think is the reason for that?
It all starts with the family, bro.
Yeah?
Family walking alongside family. Whānau, awhiing whānau. That's all it is, bro, is doing it from the grassroots level like what I'm doing, coming down, not sitting at your pedestal, coming down to the people's level and just watching whakarongo, deep listening around your community, seeing what needs doing and just sitting back and embracing it all. So when the funding is there, you know exactly what to implement, what your programs look like. I've got visions to build retreats and stuff, but these are youth retreats for troubled youths that come out of, adolescents jails to be able to come to these retreats that have music, sports, phys ed, bro. These are my visions, no one steal my visions. But, I just want to share them because there might be someone out there that might go, boom, I want to do that too. And they might come and grab me and we'll do this together. That's all it takes is one person out there. How do you think all these big retreats and all these big places come? It's not pocket money, it's funding. It's what builds these things, and the government will help run these things, and these things can benefit our children that are coming out of these youth prisons so that they don't become a product to the system and end up in the prisons where the adults are, where their life stuff, then they become gang members because they were already built for it because of the life that they've seen from the experimental, the lived experiences and what they've been through, bro. And it's all from the whānau. Starts at home. Start talking at the table about suicide with your kids. Ask your kid how his day is, and if one of your children comes up to you and says to you, I've got something going on, don't sit there and say you want a cup of concrete or bro, go and harden up. Bro, that kid took courage to come and say that to you. So you give that kid your heart and listen to him, bro. It's important. I'm so passionate about the youth, bro. It's why I'm here. I'm here because I've got to leave this gift, leave this knowledge, weave my music into the history for the next kids to come along and do it, bro, because no one else was going to do it, or there are people out there and I'm yet to meet them.
Do you
passionate, bro.
Do you do like teachings or give like speeches at schools?
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I haven't done any schools, but I've done youth prisons and I've done work and income offices. Oh, it's all clicking now, bro. These are all places I could go and approach for funding now. Sorry, this is all online, but it's all clicking for me. I've been putting these seeds in places that are already there for me to go back and or use them as box tickers to actually get my movement into the schools. And I'm looking to, because I'm with the Anti-P ministry, let's go, Anti-P ministry, massive things, charitable trust now. We just got a tour bus. We're going to be doing walk-ins all around New Zealand. There's going to be bail houses, which are people that come out of jail to get bail. We'll be going into these Anti-P ministry bail houses, getting help with them, and it's working from the whānaus again, because the whānaus will be coming in to support these people again, not leaving them out and going, he's a meth head and stay away from him. He's a meth head wanting to make some change. Let's help him. Let's bring him in. Let's bring the whānau around him and support him. Whānaus walking alongside whānaus, bro. It's important. That's where it starts.
Well, in terms of the details, because I would imagine with some of these people, it's generational, right? This is something that's carried on from generation to generation. So it's very, very hard for them to break out of that cycle, particularly if that's their world, that's all they know. I've had quite a few rappers and other people from, South Auckland and such. And one of the guys, Anonymous, he said that your life is one big vision board. So if that's all you see, then you don't know anything else, right? You don't know what you don't know. So how do you expose these people and show them, hey, there's another way, there's another walk of life? Like, I'd imagine you speak to a lot of people, and they feel they are trapped in that world and they can't break free.
It's actually a youth developmental practice, and it's called broadening horizons. That's all it is. Just broaden the horizon. Go outside the comfort zone and look for more. Explore. Let the kid explore that side of the whānau that you may not get on with. Hey, so say for example, there's a whānau over here and this whānau here. Explore that whānau. Explore to that side of things, because that might impact that child's life later on, so that he doesn't now pick up drugs or alcohol to deal with that stuff that he didn't get to deal with when he was little. Yeah. Bang. That's the stuff that ADHD and Ritalin did to me. It stopped me dealing with all that stuff. It suppressed it all, and then I had to deal with it all at the age 30 when and again, because the methamphetamine had the phetamine in it, I was self-medicating. Just another way of self-medicating to get through that trauma, to get through that void, to fill that hole.
Because I think that's a big problem with society today, is we are taught, almost indoctrinated with, we're taught basically to rely on a substance to numb pain, whether it's weed or alcohol or sex or whatever,
You're right.
And when something's normalized, it's very hard to see a different way. Because I think a lot of us are like sheep. In some regards. I see it all the time. One person says something, particularly if they're a celebrity. Yes. And then everyone just follows what the celebrity does.
That's right. And that's how movements are created. And that's why some of these artists have bigger movements than the government.
Yeah, well, that's right.
And we're threats.
Yeah.
We become threats because we've got knowledge and power. And they're just learning off us too.
Yeah, well, they're taking what you're saying.
They're literally learning off us, bro. We're on a grid working for them or whatever, and they're like, this is not, it might sound conspiracy. Who cares, bro? Tinfoil hatty, but, we're just working for them, And for once I can say, no, I've created a movement in the cog, in the machine, and I'm the CEO of it, and no one tells me how to run it. Yeah. I can walk it wherever it wants to go. So that's the way to do it. So if that was some advice, guys, create your own platform, create your own thing, but you've got to do it from a place of passion, potential, and purpose. You have to, because it's just has to be those three things. I find that's what's got me to be able to do this podcast. Yeah. It's what's got me to do the show tonight,
So let's get on to the hip hop stuff. So in terms of how did you get into actual writing?
So let's just go back into, in my kind of teenager days, I was quite highly kind of religious with Christianity, and was exploring that. And I had convulsions with demons taken out of me in churches. But I've been through a lot of stuff. Yeah. And so I kind of rebelled to that stuff, because I was always told, if I do this, if I do that, if I do this, I'm wrong. And I just had this big battle with religion, And so for me, I used to go around parties with my bro, and he used to sing gospel and I used to rap gospel, and it was never written. It was all just freestyled. And yeah, we just go into parties and rap about God and rap about the light and the Jesus and stuff like that. We would. And this is where it kind of was sparked from. But to actually go right back to where it probably first was sparked when I was 9, I love Michael Jackson. I used to love my Michael Jackson movies.
Oh, nice.
I used to have like 9-year-old birthday parties, have Michael Jackson dance-off competitions and things like that. And, you know, he's the king of pop, you know, and so king of hip-hop. I've just taking these things from my past to who I am today. And so what was the actual question about the hip-hop? Sorry, bro, just...
How did you get into it?
So how
The
the
fundamentals.
fundamental of hip hop was I got that first battle rap, hey. So that was where I got that
Battle rap?
Yeah, I battle rapped Jar the Jester and lost to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's on YouTube. It's just shocking. I was fried off my head.
Was this at Red
I was
Zone?
under the influence.
Was this at Red Zone?
Yeah, I had my first Red Zone battle against Jar the Jester, lost it, and went, oh, I'm going to go make music now.
Okay. So you did one battle and then that was it?
Yeah, that was it. I didn't want a bar of it. I thought, whoa, he made me feel belittled. I felt like I didn't want to live anymore. My whole social identity had been stripped. Then I went and did the walk the talk, and I fighted Era the Pimp, who was 120 kg male against little skinny old King Cass. It was just a big laughing show. I lost that fight due to me throwing in the towel because I puffed out, not actually TKO or nothing. So I've put myself out there and shamed myself to whatever I am today. Those people know, and they're like, whoa, they've seen the transformation of what I tried to do at the start. So I went from battle rap to prize fight boxing to just trying to get my name out there to podcasts to the 7 Sharp documentary. Then I had the dudes come from Australia, filmed me here, went back to Australia and dropped that capacity video. And now I've got 2 sponsors in Australia, DGC Clothing and On It Clothing. And my sponsors right here, New Zealand Clothing.
Show that to the camera, man.
New Zealand Clothing. Shout out to my homie Charlie Brown. If you don't know, Optimus Grind, bro, he is a king. So we've actually got a collaboration clothing coming soon. King Cass and New Zealand have collaborated, but I'm also a sponsor of them. So yeah, I've just been making these connections. The Anti-P Ministry Ambassador, it's just bringing so much blessings to me, bro. And it's like, obviously these have been put for me because I'm working towards these pathways, you know?
Mm-hmm. Do these sponsors approach you, or do you approach them?
I've approached most of them, to be honest, yeah. Well, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Do they know who you are before you approach them?
I fully give them the full story.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's
the whole
cool.
story, brother. The whole life story, the docos, the links, and they just come to me and say, bro, we just want to get behind you and help you. And, you know, and then we have that conversation and we talk about, like, what does it look like to be a sponsor? And then they start sharing my docos and sharing my stories and sharing my shows and things like that. And that's real sponsorship, when you got people out there sharing your stuff and that. And this is what this is about. And I know that New Zealand's doing some huge stuff here in New Zealand at the moment. Shout out to the bro again. He's got a scheme going at the moment with helping other artists, where he's putting us on, building us a merch, a logo, and pretty much putting it all through his whole production. And we don't even do nothing. We just sit there. So I've been blessed to be given that opportunity. You're the man, homie. New Zealand. Go cop some gears, straight up.
So what's your writing style like? How do you go about writing a song?
Writing style?
No, writing a song.
Oh, how do I go about it?
Yeah. So do you think up the lyrics in your head, freestyle them, and then write them down, or do you write them down first? Do you write to a beat? Like what's your method?
So lately, mostly it's hear the beat and come up with the wave. Find that wave, find that frequency, find that hum, and then turn that into words. Find the pattern. So I might only be like, yeah, go and then turn those into words.
Oh, right.
So find my pattern.
That's similar to how I used to do it.
And then otherwise, I've just got a structure pattern that I just do 4 bar, 4 bar, 4 bar, 4 bar, and they're just all rhyming on each different. They just change. Those rhyming schemes will just change, and that's my pattern. And then I might do like an 8 bar and then sing 4 bars or something like that. And I'm trying to step into the melodic trap with the auto tune and high singing now, and just trying to do something more and trying to just step out of my comfort zone. And it's bringing more listeners. So try something different in your craft, guys, because it really does bring listeners.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And you've done a lot of live shows. Do you have like one particular show that you'd say is your best, your favorite?
My favourite show, to tell you the truth, was Masterton Summer Vibes last year, man. It was probably the biggest, packed, the most coolest thing. I got to connect with the PPS production, shout out homies in Masterton. Yeah. And got to stay with them for a week. And mostly when I go make music and connect with people, I normally stay with them for a few days, or I make that connection with the whānau, kanohi te kanohi. I love to break bread with people. I love to sit at a table, break bread, because that's where the conversations happen. That's where the whakarongo happens. That's where you listen into their conversations and offer what you can offer, bring what you can bring to the table. That's what we're put here to do.
Is there anyone in particular that you haven't collaborated with that you want to collaborate with?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Name drop.
Name drop. Oh, come on, Sid Diamond. I'd love to have you on my album. I mean, I've got Tyree coming on my next album with Dilz and a couple of other heavy hitters. But yeah, I'd love to have young Sid on an album. Just hearing the change in what he's rapping about, and yeah, just looking at getting some of these heavy hitters. But all day Eminem, brother.
Man.
Everyone would say that, though, But no, I'm really inspired by Mercury's grind at the moment. Bro, that guy's like king at the moment. He is smashing it. He's dropping single album. He does those remixes, and I'm just feeding off his grind. So I've just done 3 back-to-back single drops this month. July, we did The Edge on the 3rd, Options on the 7th, and we got Jim Carrey coming on the 17th, and that's my song paying homage to Jim Carrey, which is quite ironic because I just found out that he's going through depression at the moment. So how could we get him to hear that song? Like, bro, have I created the song for that reason? And that's what I'm doing. I'm tapping in. I'm just trying things, bro. Like, yeah.
That's cool, man. So what in regards to Christchurch, I mean, you've been all around the country. Like, what is it about Christchurch that you love the most compared to everywhere else? Like, do you go and visit other places and be like, I
don't want to be bad to my own hometown, but I don't like Christchurch that much.
You don't like Christchurch?
Because I've found better connections outside of Christchurch.
Right, okay.
I'm more welcomed.
Okay.
People meet me and it's like, I'm not saying that they're like, get all like starstruck, but I get this new vibe when I'm outside of my own hometown. And you know exactly what that is, bro. It's because I've got a past. And that's where I'm from.
And so they just think of you as that
same person
from way back then.
But hey, guys, I've changed. I think I've shown it now.
Okay.
I love it, bro. I'm just so real, And I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I love Christchurch, and that's my hometown, born and bred. It's the gateway to truth. It's the gateway to change, and it's where I'm going to base from. But yeah, I believe that when I leave my hometown, I'm welcomed with opening arms. The people that I meet are more caring and welcoming. It's just, it's amazing to see that, actually. And yeah, I'll say that strongly, that I get more support outside of my own hometown.
That's interesting. It makes sense, though. Is there any particular cities or towns that you like really love visiting?
So I've really loved Taranaki and Wellington have been like two home away from homes.
I love those 2 places.
And it's like, I'm yet to go. I want to go do the Napiers. I want to go do all the down south stuff and that. So I've done Invercargill, Dunedin, Timaru. So yeah, let's just keep going. Let's go. I'm obviously meant to travel the nation and then the world. Let's go. Like, I'm born to fly.
So how did you network with Dilz?
So how did that happen? Yeah, this is actually a good question, bro. Good question, eh? It's making me kind of tap back in. I think I just literally seen his movement and seen the music and tapped into it, and that song Cocoon really related to me. Not that I could relate right to that story, but there's words in there that were powerful, and I heard that there was a message in this guy's heart and that there was some things that we could do together. So I started reaching out, and then next minute he was putting me on shows in Wellington and now here in Auckland. And I just want to say big shout outs to you, homie Dilz G. Like, bro, mad love to you, G. It's actually quite emotional because, like, you don't get these chances often, bro. And when people put you on, it's quite privileging, and I don't think people understand how much it means to me when they put me on. Anyone that's ever put me on, how much that means to me, because I didn't think I'd get put on. I didn't think I'd get this chance. I didn't think I'd get heard, and I'm being heard, and it's people like that make it possible. So,
have you actually had a chance before? I mean, by the time this airs, the gig will have already happened because you're performing tonight with Dilz. But have you met him prior to this?
We met in Wellington.
Right.
So he got me for that first show in Wellington, and we just had this connection, and we went out in the town afterwards, had a good night, got that connection, and just stayed in connection. And I was like, I'm going to try and get him on a Christchurch show. And then he just goes, hey, bro, I got an Auckland show, you keen? And I was just like, yeah, bro, and we'll just make it happen. And we've actually got a song coming out on my album as well, and it's about just being able to collab with these heavy hitters. And I call Dilz a heavy hitter, and we're all just doing our own thing out here. We've got our own movements, and being able to collaborate with somebody that's doing something so big in his movement, it's cool because we're doing different things, but we can come together, collaborate, and we can support each other and see each other at the top,
Yeah. This is the album, and this is your current album, is it?
Yeah. This is the current album. Was 2019, May the 7th, this dropped, The Awakening from Dark to Light. This is pretty much just my testimony. Yeah. This is my first album. I don't even perform any of this stuff anymore.
It's all new stuff.
Yeah, I'm moving on to all my new stuff.
Because it gets boring, doesn't it? Yeah, if you're performing the same stuff. Yeah.
And I got the second album coming soon, and I've got my EP, which is a collab with Sea Rock Beats in Australia. So
Nice. How do you decide what you're going to perform?
how do I decide what I'm going to perform?
Well, because you've got such a plethora of material.
It's quite hard. So I thought, should I perform my daughter's song at this event? No, maybe. And just working out what fits. And like, I've got a couple of message tracks for tonight, but they're bangers. And every song of mine will have a message in it. So I'm just taking what people were trending to and hearing to and just putting a message on it. And I just want to be heard, and I want to be clearly heard with that New Zealand accent. And now that I'm tapping into my singing, I'm going to be getting some vocal training, because I know if I keep tapping into the style, it's just going to bring more people to work with, more listeners. People are like, whoa, you can sing, I want to listen to you now. Like, oh, because if you're a rapper, you're just going to be a rapper. So yeah, King Cass.
Do you think you'll always do music, or do you want to get into more teaching or education
so
type
I
stuff?
think that the music will always be a part of my history. And
Right.
so my dad was an Android, and they had a number 19 in the charts called I Want to Be in Auckland Tonight. Oh, I want to be in Auckland tonight, yeah, yeah. That's how the song went. And they got a number 19 on the charts. No internet, nothing. So they managed to do that. Well, 4 band members died from drug overdoses. My father's still alive, and he still has music and plays music, and he does tributes to the androids, and he's got a few local gigs that he does under X-Files and Retro Sonic and stuff. So just living his legacy, but just a different genre. So I think, really, I reckon I got another 20 years on the platform, smashing it, going around the world, doing my music, pushing this message, and then just sit back and build for other people, and maybe do more presentations, more speaking engagements, more motivational, inspirational, but it's all going to come in package anyway, bro. I mean, I don't have a 5 or a 10-year plan. Each year I'm going to reset. I know I'm destined for some real big things, so I kind of don't know what that looks like, but I do get visions, and I just go towards those visions. And because I think if we put ourselves into a 5-year or a 10-year plan, are we limiting ourselves?
You can do.
And creating
But,
a limitation and
yeah.
a blocker.
I suppose it can just be future planning.
Future planning,
Or
yes.
thinking, what do I want to do later on down the track? Not necessarily saying I want to do this within 5 years or 10 years.
And like you heard me before,
short-term and long-term goals.
I just say like, overall I want to build this retreat in that. So I'll just talk about a vision, a bigger vision that is now. So yeah, I think, bro, just like the music is, I've found, and if anyone's listening, I'm manifesting in my music. So every song I'm listening back to, I'm like, I did that, or whoa, I'm doing that, or I'm gonna be doing that, or I literally just talked to that person, or whoa, I can find a relation, and so can my listeners. My listeners will take things from it and go, I can put that to my life. That's music.
That's cool, man. And how do you cope, or because you've been in that dark place, and drugs and hip hop kind of go hand in hand, how do you not get tempted when you're around this stuff? Because I could name like 3 rappers maybe, and all the people that I know, in terms of all the rappers I know, that have never done any type of drug.
Wow.
Or not involved in that scene, at all, or have never been involved in that scene, I should say.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I've been there, I've done it. I've been in nightclubs with heaps of people and partying and having that lifestyle. So when I come to perform at these shows, it's just for my music, and it's not about getting the big party side of it. But I'll get a few drinks with the team and stuff, of course. But I've been there, I've done it all, bro. So temptation will always be there. That demon's in the corner right now doing press-ups for the day that I do pick up. He's stronger than ever. And that's what they say. Your demons will go away and get more demons, and they'll go and build a tribe to try and come back and take you out. And they'll always do that. But you just got to acknowledge them and let them just stay there. Temptation, they're a disease. They're all things that come over top of us. So yeah, I would get that temptation, definitely. But it's about going...
But how do you be like, nah?
Because if I do it, I feel I'll lose everything I've got right now.
Right. Okay.
And that might not be from my fans falling off me, but I believe the universe will punish me. If I go backwards, then I'm gonna keep going backwards, because then it's gonna show, you want to go that way now? Okay, we'll carry you on that way. You know what I mean? It's that I'm creating my future. I'm creating and perceiving and manifesting my whole new canvas that I painted. That's that, like you're saying, it's that canvas in front of me. I'm the artist. I'm designing it.
Oh yeah. How long's been your longest set that you performed?
My longest set would have been 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Pretty tiring, eh?
Yeah. Do you do a lot of cardio?
Nah, see, it's going to be... I mean, that's what it's going to start happening more, eh? But I mean, like, most of these big like shows in there, I notice it's kind of like a 10-minute, 20-minute. You get that little slot.
Yeah, you get a small set. Yeah.
Same with Bay Dreams in that, eh? You only might get a 15-minute, maybe 5 songs, and you got to pick your bangers to come and showcase, right?
Unless you're doing your own release party or you're headlining the show. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And normally when you do an hour show, a lot of it's not just packed up music. It's a show. There's lighting, there's sound effect, there's a little bit of a hook here, and then that hook stops, and the crowd's like, huh? And then you get the hook chanting it, and then they bring the hook in, and then that hook stops, and then the verse. Like, it's a show. And I mean, that's what I'm getting at the moment. Not for this show tonight, but, you know, I want to build that show. I want to build that show around lights, around smoke machines. I want to build a show.
Will you do a nation tour at some point?
Oh, absolutely, brother.
Will you get a band?
Hey?
Would you get a band? Would you do it with a band?
It'd be really cool. I mean, I don't know what it looks like. I've seen it, and I mean, I want this. I'd love to do that. That'd be really cool. I mean, that would be them tapping in and using instruments to remake my sound. Correct?
Yeah. Well,
amazing.
Dilz would probably know a bit more about it because I think he's doing his, he was meant to, and then COVID-19 hit, obviously.
Oh, sick. Was he doing it with a band in that?
Well, I don't know if he was doing it with a band, but I know that was the plan. But I think everything's just gone out of whack due to COVID-19 and stuff. So, yeah. But
yeah, I think that's a good way. If you get a band behind you, or someone hits you up and goes, "Can you open up for me on this tour?" And next minute you're opening on that tour, does it set you up to start your own tour the next year or things like that? Just Dilz is putting me on these shows, and I'm up alongside with Dilz on these shows, so it's giving out that perception to people. Oh, we'll put him on. So now I've got promoters that I'm meeting that want to do shows in Christchurch, but they're meeting me here in Auckland to talk about it. So I'm like, well, let's just keep doing it. Let's keep making moves. So, yeah, I'm going to be coming back, hopefully bringing Dilz to Christchurch and then to Timaru and Dunedin. I want to do that. So, yeah, I want to entrepreneur as well, bro, as well be a hip-hop artist, as well be as an advocate. I just want to do it all. Put my eggs in that basket and just run with it. I mean, it does get tiring, and I have to reground myself, and there are crashes, but I just put the crashes out on Facebook and be vulnerable about it, and the support is what fills the cup back up. Make sense?
Yeah. So that's how you keep your energy up?
Yeah.
Do you ever get burnt out though? And you're just like,
absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Ever times where you're just like, I'm over this?
No, but the should I give up feeling? No, don't give up, dickhead. Like, like that.
Oh, okay. So like the good and bad.
Yeah, just that. But I'll never give up. I've come this far to not give up.
Yeah.
And
how old are you?
33.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got to get my ass into gear. So I'm quite old, but I don't look old.
Well, you're not middle-aged yet, bro, so you're all good.
I'm happy with life at the moment, and that's just what it's about. Be happy with life too, and about like words like hope and stuff. Hold on, pain ends, and help other people exist. Like give back to get back. You help someone else, someone's going to help you. And then you might not even see, like, if you help someone, you might be like, oh, I didn't get helped back, but then someone else around you got helped. Look for those things. Look for the karma coming. It's there. Look for those karma, especially that angelic karma from all the good stuff you've done. Yep. It's coming. It's definitely coming.
Yeah. Now, I have to ask about your tattoos because you've got so many. How many do you have?
80% covered, so I've pretty much
80% of your body covered in tattoos.
So I've pretty much just got to finish my ribs, shade out the back, and do my butt cheeks and legs, the backs of my legs and stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty much 80% covered. I've got the full helmet done and things like that.
So as someone who's never gotten a tattoo, why would you get so many tattoos? Doesn't it hurt?
It's a journey, brother. This has been the journey, and I obviously didn't fit in. I don't think so. I actually don't have an answer for why I got the tattoos. But I was inspired, probably. I was probably peer pressured. I was probably looking what was building and what was around me, people with tattoos and wanted to be like, and I was idolized and things like that. So I started to do it. And now I'm just like face tattoos now because I'm building this image of a hip hop artist, of what they're doing over in America. I want to be here, but I want to be a light worker. So it's kind of like
You're trying to flip it.
Yeah, bro, flip the scriptures. It's in my music.
Yeah. Okay. But so the meaning behind each one is different though?
Absolutely. I'll just say one meaning, and it's the one on the forehead because it's always the one that they go to. So if you have a pyramid like this and we go to the top of it, you got about 5 people that can fit at the top of that pyramid, right? So if I flip that pyramid upside down, then we can all stand on the top together and unite. This is also an eye inside it because it's a third eye for my intuition, my pineal gland, and my spiritual side. It's also done with a mandala flower, which is the flower of life and creation. The flowers are done in dot work, which is the dots of creation as we were atoms when we first started.
Oh, wow.
So I'm walking around with something pretty powerful on my forehead.
How the hell did you think of thinking that up?
Well, I got the tattoo first, and then I put the
meaning
metaphor to it.
Right. Okay.
But at the start, I was like, I just want something. I want a third eye. I want a third eye. I'm woke. That's what it was, bro. I'm woke. I want a third eye. That's what it was.
Did you Did somebody design that for you?
Yeah.
Like a lot of these tattoos, does someone design them for you,
So
and then you get
this
them?
one here was a trust me, bro. Straight up. I said to him, bro, I just want a little wee diamond with a wee eyeball in it, so it's just a little wee cute little one. He's like, bro, trust me, bro, this is going to pop. Then it pops all right.
Okay.
So this was a trust me tattoo, and I trusted the brother. So.
Do you go to the same guy? To get
Well, my bro was doing a lot of my bodysuit, but I've probably got about 5 to 6 different tattooists, and I'm probably looking for somebody to finish me. So it'll be along that journey, I'll find somebody to shade me out, finish my back up, and maybe be able to take some photos and take some credit and things like that.
So are you going to do your entire body?
Yeah, full bodysuit. I've already got the tops of my feet, everything all up. I'll just need to do the backs of my thighs, butt cheeks, my ribs. Like I've even got my logo tattooed on me, bro. That's how much I believe. Branded for life. So you're pretty covered, brother.
Damn, man.
So yeah, I mean, it's that walking canvas. And again, building that image, a delinquent, an outcast. I am that, but I'm in cast now. Is it flipping the scriptures, bro? And that's what I'm doing. And like, it's crazy. I love it. I love what I'm doing. And yeah, I'll take my hat off to show you the helmet of salvation, I call it.
Which part hurts to get done the most? Like which...
Oh, like from my head?
Yeah, like, because I'd imagine the head would hurt.
I reckon it was more the back and around the ears. The top was beautiful. I mean, I was just sitting there humming away, like, behind the ears, tops of the feet, fingers, they're all little wee tender spots. But, I start to think, like, was some of this tattooing that I got, was some of this self-inflicted harm? And I think of little things like that too. Was this a way of dealing with some of that pain back then, just going and getting tattooed and just dealing with it? And because I used to sit there for 6 hours, sometimes have a box of Billy Mavericks sitting there smashing it, and the whole time, and just 6 hours later have a whole chest and just be like, whoa, so like what I do sometimes think, like, was some of that tattoo experience I was doing, well, not self-inflicted harm, but just ways of dealing with some of that pain as well. But
wouldn't looking at some of those tattoos take you back there though?
That's what it does, yeah.
But
definitely.
would you want to do that though? Wouldn't you want to move past that?
Well, that's why it's that written canvas now, eh? I can look back and be like, well, that's where I was, because this whole sleeve I wanted to recover and get a whole new design on it to cover it. But now I'm like, nah, why would I want to cover something that's me? Just acknowledge it, let it be, and go, well, actually, there's a wee cartoon man there on a ghetto box with a microphone, and I believe that I was going to be a clown going through the city rapping one day.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a clown. I'm going through cities rapping, so boom, a manifestation, without even knowing it. So.
Yeah.
Now that I understand what that is, I can take that to so pretty much everything. I've got 8 figures tattooed on the side of my ankle because I'm going to try and manifest 8-figure business.
Do people ever write you off though because of your tattoos? You know what I mean?
I think so, and I don't know that's happening. Because I'm just like, right here, right now, I've forgotten I'm fully covered in tattoos and people are looking at me all in tattoos and you're standing here like that, and I meet people, I just completely forget. I walk up to people like, hey, and they're like, I must forget, and they must be like, whoa, his big forehead tattoo looking at me. And
like say if you met some people from the business world who are in their little business bubble, they probably don't see this much.
And
so
that's
I'd imagine they'd see you and just... because some people think tattoos criminal. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. And I was just wondering if you kind of get that vibe from people that they immediately judge you based on your tattoos.
Yes, but I'm spinning it to tattoos testimony.
Yeah, you can be. I suppose you can be the one that destroys that stereotype.
Yes, bro. And well, Kanye, you're saying Kanye himself, I want to be a president because he's got an image and things like that. We're going to flip the scripts. We're going to change society and how it looks at things. Because that will change, that will make change. And that's like the butterfly effect. Something has to happen later on in life from that change. So that's why we're doing all this stuff. We don't know what it's going to do. We don't know what all this change is going to look like because we're not going to be here to see it. But we've got to do it, and we've got to trust in instinct, and that's wayfinding. So wayfinding back in the day, we used to be in boats floating in the ocean, and we seen birds flying over, and we'd be like, oh, we could go that way. And we used to trust that there was going to be land.
Yeah.
It's called wayfinding, and that's just what I'm doing with my movement. I'm wayfinding, and that's why I call it a movement, because it's moving, and I'm literally just finding my way.
That's cool, bro. Cool, man. So I'm going to wrap up there. Where's the best place where everyone can follow you?
Best place is all platforms, so Spotify, YouTube,
what do
Instagram.
they look for?
Just
what's
search
the
up
name?
King Cass.
King Cass?
King, C-A-S-S, that's C-A-S-S, King Cass. The only thing difference is my Instagram's King Cass NZ, but it wouldn't matter. As soon as you search up King Cass in any platform, I pop up.
Yeah, okay.
And if you want to get a bit deeper into my story and stuff, hit King Cass 7 Sharp or King Cass Capacity. and that'll pop up.
Is that on YouTube?
The 7 Sharp doco, if you were to go into your Facebook search bar and type King Cass 7 Sharp, I'll pop up. If you type King Cass Capacity, I'll pop up. If you go to Google and type King Cass, it all pops up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm top at Google, so I've got that name, and as soon as you share,
number one.
So, yeah. Well, you know what I mean? I've got that go-to algorithm, so I've created that name as well. And before I go, I just wanted to share actually what King Cass movement means.
Yep.
So kings create and save souls is what King Cass means. The way that we acknowledge the woman is by saying that kings need queens too, because sometimes we look at history, but we forget about her story, which is her story too. We talk about his story a lot, but we forget about her story. You know, us males, like you were talking before about that real talk, that talking the real talk stuff, is about us actually embracing that feminine side of us. Actually embracing that side, that humble, that caring side of us. Embrace that side, because that's her story, not his story. Dictatorship and power was from history. Do you see what I did there?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that the King Cass movement is also, to me, it's a big tree, and that these are the leaves here. And you know that when leaves fall, the tree still keeps on growing. So from falling, we still grow. The stars are aligned. We're aligned with the stars and the comets, and we're a movement. So King Cass movement.
That's cool, bro. All right, and just before we go, King Cass is going to drop a verse that he wrote a couple of days ago.
Yeah, a couple of days ago. Yeah.
And yeah, so we'll just we'll get ready for that. All right, thanks everyone. Yeah, King Cass in the building. Let's go.
Yeah, just wrote this a couple of days ago. Shout out to NZ Hip Hop. Yeah, I just jumped off the plane, I'm on the Air New Zealand wave. I'll be sitting in the cockpit looking fly every day. I'll be working every day, haters lurking on my page. Stay up in your lane, homie, we ain't the same, cause I'ma make it. I choose a different pathway, you see I'm feeling awake. And whoa, this is the awakening. Neo in the game and I'll be breaking out the matrix. Someone call up Elon Musk and tell him to build me a spaceship, cause I'm out of this world, I'm a different sort of Mars. They playing with their diamonds, I'll be playing with my heart. I'll be pulling the strings and I'll be holding the cards. I'll be spreading my wings, and I was chosen from the start. See, cash rules everything around me, but we know it's all about the numbers. I'll be breaking the cheat code. This is the takeover. I'll be coming for the repo. I'll be swimming so deep you can't find me like Nemo. I'm out. Cass.
Yeah, that is the show, everyone. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and support the bro King Cass.
New Zealand, Honor Clothing, DGC, NEP Ministry. Skirt.
Sweet. That's the show, everyone. Peace.